Netflix's The Abandons transports viewers to a small town in the 19th century, where the law is controlled by the wealthiest family around, the Van Nesses. The story centers on Fiona Nolan and her people as they struggle to keep control of their land from Constance Van Ness. But things get way more complicated when one of Fiona's adopted children kills Constance's son, while another one falls in love with Constance's daughter. Talk about a mess, right? This whole chaos of love, hatred, and murder plays out over 7 episodes and wraps up with an explosive finale that leaves everyone's fate hanging in the balance. The finale leaves so many questions unanswered, which has fans wondering, what's next? Season 2 renewal status and release date. Here's the thing. Netflix hasn't officially renewed the show for a second season yet. But if The Abandons gets enough popularity to warrant a continuation, we're looking at a Season 2 release sometime in 2027. Alright, spoiler warning from here on out, so if you haven't finished Season 1 yet, this is your chance to click away. What Season 2 will be about. So Season 2 is expected to explore the aftermath of the fall of the Van Ness house. Now, The Abandons was created by Kurt Sutter, but here's an interesting detail. He actually left the show just a few weeks before filming was supposed to wrap up. If Netflix decides to move forward with Season 2, it'll most likely be without Sutter at the helm. But the story could still follow the direction he originally imagined. By the end of Season 1, both Fiona and Constance's fates are hanging in the balance, and the futures of their children will be decided by whoever walks out of that fire. But no matter who survives, whether it's Fiona or Constance, the animosity between their families is at its absolute peak. Even if Constance survives, she and her children have a ton of work ahead of them to rebuild the Van Ness name. Their house is burned down, and there's a good chance that all those important papers inside Constance's safe are gone too. While they're trying to secure their family's future and legacy, they'll still be hunting for revenge against Fiona and her kids. And that's where Sutter's original vision comes in. The Abandons on the Run. Talking about what he had in mind for the series' future, Sutter said he envisioned the Abandons on the run. This would take them to a different part of the lawless country and pit them against new dangers, all while being haunted by everything that went down in Angel's Edge. This makes sense because the Van Nesses are going to blame Fiona and her children for the house fire, so they'll be wanted by the law for arson, not to mention the murder of Constance's son, Willem. Romance and relationships. At the same time, the romantic relationships will stay a major focus. Season 1 gave us that Romeo and Juliet-style romance between Elias and Trisha, which ended tragically when Trisha discovered that Elias's family was responsible for her brother's death. Season 2 could focus on their lovers-to-enemies arc, which would add even more weight to the conflict between their families. Cast returning for Season 2. Now let's talk about the cast. A lot of what we'll see in Season 2 depends on which direction the story goes. But because of the show's title, it's likely going to follow Fiona and her family's journey. If Fiona survives the events of the Season 1 finale, Lena Headey will return to reprise her role. And if Constance walks out of that fire, we'll see more of Gillian Anderson. Season 2 will also bring back Nick Robinson as Elias, Diana Silvers as Dahlia, Aisling Franciosi as Trisha, Lucas Till as Garrett, Lamar Johnson as Albert, and Natalia Del Riego as Lila. We also expect to see Michelle Heisman as Roach and Michael Greyeyes as Jack Cree. Supporting cast members. If the show continues to focus on the residents of Angel's Edge, we might also see Ryan Hurst as Miles Alderton, Caitlin Wells as Samara, and Brian F. O'Byrne as Walter Paxton. The fate of Natasha Mumba's Lucinda will also depend on what direction the story takes. And of course, there will be new cast members too, especially if the Abandons go on the run through new territory. These new characters will be a mix of friends and enemies, creating even more drama for our main characters. Character development and darker themes. One of the things that makes The Abandons such a compelling watch is that no character is purely a hero or a villain. The people we initially thought were the good guys, they turn out to have way more darkness in their hearts than we expected. And the ones set up as villains, they end up being better people than we thought. Season 2 will continue building on this theme as we watch the characters walk that fine line between good and bad. Several characters are expected to go through some drastic transformations. For Dahlia, that transformation has already started. By the finale, she doesn't seem scared at all to brandish a weapon and stab people, especially when it comes to the Van Ness family. Trisha and Elias will most likely be the next characters to show their darker sides. Trisha's whole world has been turned upside down because of the revelations about her family. Both sides have lied to her, and she doesn't know who to believe anymore. It'll be really interesting to see where she ends up, and, more importantly, if she finally takes an interest in the family business and concerns herself with her family's crimes and punishments. Love stories amid the chaos. While violence and bloodshed are going to be major themes of Season 2, love is also expected to blossom. Season 1 focused mainly on Elias and Trisha's romance, but other forms of affection grew in the background. We've got Albert falling for Lucinda. He sees a kindred spirit in her. Initially, Samara was interested in Albert, but later she started becoming close to Garrett, and it looks like he's reciprocating her feelings too. The fate of both these romances could actually balance out all the hatred gripping the characters in the show. So that's everything we know so far about The Abandoned Season 2. What are you most excited to see if the show gets renewed? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, make sure to like and subscribe for more.